y'all, Ann here. It's been a while since I've done a video, and somebody actually did a request for one, so that made me feel good. People actually look at these. Kind of amazing. So I think my last one was just a couple days post-surgery, so I want to update everyone. So I had the gastric sleeve. It was on May 24th, 2016. So Sunday will be my 2-month surgiversary. Pretty exciting. I started, my high weight was 301 according to the doctor's office. When I went in for my surgery, I was at 283. I'd lost 18 pounds on the liquid diet 10 days that I had to do beforehand. And right now I'm 257, so I've lost about 44 pounds. I'm averaging about 3 pounds a week, which is good. I actually was frustrated with that to begin with, and then realized that that's good. It's not like in the past where I'd have a power week and lose 5 to 7 pounds in 1 week, but then gain it back the next week. So 3 pounds a week that continuously goes down is way better than a major loss and then gaining it back. So quite happy about that. I want to share a couple of things that have really stuck out about these last 2 months. Just so if you have already had surgery and are experiencing it, you know you're not alone, or if you're going to be having surgery, you know that these things have happened with somebody else. So the first one is head hunger. So they tell us when we have the sleeve, they're cutting off the section of your stomach that produces ghrelin, the hormone that makes us hungry. So we have a good 6 months to a year before we have to worry about that, which is fine. I'm not physically hungry. For the most part, I don't have the growling stomach and everything. However, there is head hunger. We didn't get this way just because we were hungry all the time physically. There's things going on in our head. So I was off work for almost 2 weeks after surgery, sitting home. I live in California. It was over 100 degrees, so you know where I was, inside in the air conditioning, watching TV, trying to take it easy. And what is on daytime TV? Oh my gosh, so many food commercials that it's ridiculous. So even though I wasn't physically hungry, man, did I have cravings going on. I also am somebody who really didn't have issues that I realized anyway with PMS, but I'm noticing that definitely affects me now. So there are triggers, and I'm trying very hard to be aware of those triggers and not let them get the best of me. With that said, I definitely cannot lie to you and tell you I've been perfect this entire 2 months. There's been things that I wanted, and I hope I'm not sabotaging myself, but I would have a bite. So my husband comes home with pie for the family, and I would have 1 spoonful. I felt good because I was just doing one, not giving in and trying to go overboard with it, but I do definitely need to be careful of that. So as far as hunger, I do have a new kind of hunger. Like I said, my stomach's not growling, I'm not having issues that way, but when I'm getting hungry, when it's been too long, I kind of feel empty. It's hard to explain, but I can tell when it is time to eat again, and if I go too long, I actually feel nauseated. So that's how I know I'm hungry. My typical day right now, 2 months out, I will have some kind of protein for breakfast. It's normally like half of a Greek yogurt or 1 egg, and that's all I need. Mid-morning, I have a protein shake. That protein intake is so important. Lunch is normally some kind of chicken with a vegetable. Again, getting the protein first. Afternoon, another protein shake, and then for dinner, fish or chicken with some veggies. And I always try to eat my protein first. I have to admit, getting a little tired of chicken, but no beef until 6 months for me. So doing that, I did have some pork, and that worked out well too. Just make sure everything is very tender and moist for sure. If I still haven't gotten my protein in, if I'm still hungry or I'm having a sweet craving, I have a sugar-free Jell-O pudding, and I put protein powder in it because it's very important to get to that minimum protein intake of 60 to 80 a day is what my doctor requires. I thought I was doing so well following the directions, other than those few little bites here and there. I was given antacids to take when I left the hospital. They were actually capsules that we opened up and put in stuff. I'm to the point now that I can swallow them. I hope I'm supposed to, but I swallow them without any problems. I thought it was for the first 2 weeks after surgery. Apparently it was the first 2 months. So I called the office, was concerned because if I wasn't having just eaten, my stomach, within 2 hours after eating, I was getting a horrible burning in my stomach. So it was because I had stopped taking my antacids too soon. And so I'm back to taking those. I actually take it morning and night now instead of once a day, and it's definitely getting better. Another thing that's super important, everybody tells you, water. And they weren't joking. And when you're full and you don't want to eat and you're trying to get your protein in, water sometimes does get on the back burner. And I was actually frustrated. I was kind of stalling, and I'm like 2 weeks out for surgery. How can I be plateauing already? Called the doctor's office. She wanted to find out how much water I was taking in, which was not enough, and told me that you cannot flush out the fat without the water. So I upped my water intake, and actually for that week, I think I did a little catch up, and I was losing about a pound a day just from upping my water. And like I said, it's averaged out now. So super important for that. I joined a gym, which in the past I've done before. Yeah, it's not really new news when I told my husband, but the difference is I joined just about every New Year's after doing my resolutions, joined with friends, and within a few months we had stopped going, and when they stopped, I stopped. So this time I joined by myself at a local gym that gave a discount for bariatric patients, and I go by myself, and it's all about me. It's special time for me, and it's working, and I figure 10 minutes of exercising is better than I was doing before, and I'm slowly moving it up. So I've tried weights, the circuit machines, did that. I normally do some kind of cardio. I haven't worked my way up to the elliptical machine yet, but I'll do the treadmill or the exercise bike. They have a lap pool, and I don't swim back and forth, but I have the paddle board, and I'm kicking back and forth and do that. I did a dance class. Not quite ready for that, but it was a lot of fun. And I actually did yoga the other day. So trying to get myself out of that comfort zone, put myself out there, and do what's right for me. And I feel like it's working, and I actually look forward to my time alone at the gym, which is really nice. 2 other important things real quick. Measurements. I know it sounds silly. My doctor measured, but again, when I was getting frustrated because I felt like I should be losing faster, and I'm having a hard time not comparing myself to other people, which you cannot do. It's about you and nobody else. I showed up at the doctor's office, said, what am I doing wrong? I'm not losing weight fast enough. They brought me back. They did measurements, and to my surprise, this was 1 month after surgery, I had lost about 2 inches on my arms, my thighs, my hips, and everything. I lost 7 inches in my stomach. So although the weight wasn't going down as fast as I thought and expected and wanted, my inches are, and that was pretty amazing, and I feel so much better about myself. I'm only doing that once a month now. When I go in for my checkup next week, I'll have them measure again and kind of keep that going because it's important. The other thing to help you out is take pictures. Now, the last thing any of us want to do is take pictures of our before body. It is so important though. So I did 2 kinds of pictures. My husband actually did one in my bra and panties, let it all hang out. Those obviously are for personal use. And I did the front, back, sideways, arms up, arms down. I did it all. My son, who lives in another state for college, wanted to see my progress, and his idea was that I do one every week, basically at the same time, and when I get to my goal, I will make a time-lapse video, one of those ones you see where it's watching myself shrink. So I wear some black like stretch pants and a black sports bra for every picture. I take it in the same spot and do it. And it's another one of those things where I couldn't see any changes in me yet, but people were telling me, and I thought they were just being nice. And I put up my pre-surgery one and one from 1 month, and it was crazy how much I had already changed without even being able to tell it myself. So definitely do the measurements and do the pictures, because sometimes you need to see those to keep yourself motivated. I think next time I will just talk about the water, because that has been a big struggle for me. But for right now, I think the thing to remember most is to trust the process. And I've been having a tough time with that, but trust the process. Know it's going to work if you follow the rules and do what you're supposed to do and set up good habits that are going to last a lifetime. So until next time, my friends, enjoy the journey. Bye-bye.